Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In last week's video, I announced that I am starting a new series called In My 20s. I've been thinking about doing this since I was 19 and I wanted to release it when I was 20, but I don't think I had the right direction. You know, right now I am on the road to 22. My 20th year, it was kind of a slap in the face. A wake-up call. It did put me on the right path for where I want to go in my life. So now I feel is the right time for me to start this series. I don't want to give into the cliches, you know, I don't want to give into the dramatics of it all, but I do want to make the most of this decade. Everyone I've spoken to, whether they're 21, 25, 28, we're all kind of going through the same thing because this decade is very transformative. And I do want to use this time to set myself up for success. There's a lot of personal growth that I've been going through and still will continue to go through. And I obviously always want to share that with you guys, not just to give you advice from what I'm learning, but also I know that it's comforting when you're going through a difficult stage or when you're feeling lost in your life to have someone to relate to. So I want to be that to you guys. I obviously want to be truthful and be authentic and just share my experiences. And I really hope that one day I can look back and be proud of all the progress that I made and hopefully be some sort of an inspiration story. So in this series, I'm gonna start this off by sharing the 21 things I learned in my 21 years. Number 1, you do not need closure. Once a chapter ends, that's it. It's done. No matter how much it hurts, no matter what anyone could say to make the ending a little bit better, it's still done. This is now the past and you don't want to be dragging it into your future. The ability to move on from something or from someone is always in your hands. So don't give up that power to anyone or anything else. It's always in your control. And you need to remember that as you change, your feelings and your attachments will change too. Number 2, this is something that we all have seen circling around the internet for a while now, and God, did I learn this lesson last year. And that is, your boundaries need to be stronger than your empathy. You need to give yourself first the consideration that you're giving others. I know it's so much easier said than done because setting boundaries is very uncomfortable, especially when it comes to people that you love, but sometimes you need to be selfish. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect, self-love. By doing this, you're setting the standard to how people should be treating you. Because if you don't treat yourself with respect, people are not going to respect you either. To me, this is a very important lesson because if I had implemented this earlier, I feel like I could have saved myself a lot. I would have known earlier who should and shouldn't be in my life. Number 3, having strong emotions is one of the greatest gifts you could ever have. I used to always criticize myself and say, you know, I'm too sensitive, but it's not sensitivity. My ability to feel so deeply and feel so much with every form of my being is what makes my life so emotionally rich. And isn't that what life is all about? To learn, to love, to grow, to experience, to change. Do you know how amazing it is to really truly love? Whether it's friendship, family, business, relationship, you shouldn't stop yourself. If you have a wall, try to break it down. Again, keep those boundaries, but try to break that wall down. I know sometimes it's easier to push people away or push things away because you don't want to get hurt. That's valid. But don't close yourself off to what could be a beautiful experience. Because in the end of the day, there's always the risk of feeling pain. But when you feel pain, that's just a withdrawal symptom from having a beautiful experience, from having something that was fulfilling and meaningful in your life. Number 4, it's not personal. It's just business. You need to really embrace constructive criticism at work. The only thing it's gonna do is make you so much better. For me personally, I don't feel like I've ever had a problem with this. And if I ever did take a comment to heart, I feel like I do a very good job at internalizing it. One of the most important life skills you could ever have is learning not to express a negative emotion until you sit with it and decide how you can use it in your favor, especially when it comes to work. No one wants to hurt you. They literally just want you to be better for them and for yourself. In the end of the day, you're their employee. Whatever you do is a reflection on them. Number 5, blocking someone is not childish if you've completely cut them out of your life. Trust me, you don't need people who don't wish you well lingering around on your social media. Viciously cut the negativity out of your life. You don't owe anyone any explanation. Number 6, you're only gonna get the opportunities you want when you ask for it. Things are not just gonna magically happen for you or magically fall into your hands. For example, if you think you deserve a raise at work, you need to ask for a raise. Even if they know you deserve it, it's not just gonna be thrown at you. In the end of the day, you need to make things happen. You need to take the first step. This doesn't just apply to work, it applies to everything from your life. If you need help from a friend, if you need support from your family, how are they gonna know if you don't ask? Subconsciously, if you're not getting what you want, but you've also never communicated that, you're gonna start to build resentment and anger. And you don't wanna do that towards people that you love or something that you're, really excited about. Number 7, mean girls never retire. Oh my God, you guys. There's always gonna be someone watching, competing, trying to bring you down. It shouldn't bother you at 14, it shouldn't bother you at 21, and it shouldn't bother you at 40. I actually feel really bad for those people because they're insecure and they never left high school. Trust me, no matter what you're doing, there's space for everyone. And if anyone around you is trying to dim your light, that's only because they see how bright you shine. So take it as a compliment and keep doing what you're doing. No one's lame, insecure projections of themselves should impact the way that you want to live your life. On the contrary, that's what they want. They want to bring you down. So be confident in yourself, be aware, and push these people away. Keep them out of your limelight. They're not gonna bring you to where you want to be. Number 8, it's not embarrassing if you're not embarrassed. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. So learn to have thick skin because everything is gonna be fine. The older that you get, the more that you'll learn this, but it actually feels very, very good and freeing to embrace who you really are and what makes you different. I know it's so much harder when you're younger, when you're in high school, because when you see the same people every day, you're in the same environment. I get it. You don't want to stick out too much. You don't want to be the odd one out. You want to fit in. And for me, I've said this so many times on my channel, but uni was like so transformative. I felt like that was my time to be free and be who I am and not be afraid of being different. But later on, I realized it was never uni. It was just me and my mindset. And I don't want to say I have any regrets, but I definitely wish I implemented this when I was younger. In the end of the day, when you want to start something new, you're never going to be as good as it as you want to be. You need to start somewhere to get better. And I think in high school, when you're younger, it's the shame or the embarrassment of not being good at something or like trying to do something new or transformative in your life. But really, don't be embarrassed of yourself. On the contrary, you should be proud of yourself for having the guts to put yourself out there, to be rejected, to learn, to grow. Number 9, you will still and you will always need your parents. Not in the same way as when you were younger, when you were a child, but you're still always gonna need them. I know it's so cliche to say, oh, I'm lost in my 20s, but it's cliche for a reason. The reality is a lot of us do feel lost, but that's the first step to finding yourself. And in those moments, it's very nice to have your family around you to ground you and keep you in check, especially when there's so much uncertainty. Number 10, there are no shortcuts to healing. You are going to have to go through every single emotion again and again and again until you're done. Sometimes you're moving very forward in your life and the universe will push you a couple steps back, but that's just because you're not done learning the lesson of your previous mistakes. It's kind of like school. You can't move on to chapter 2 until you pass the exam of chapter 1, and you need to do it again and again until you get that passing grade. Number 11, work as early as possible at the youngest of your youth. Work on the things that no one can ever take away from you. Your mindset, your knowledge, your skills, your confidence. These are your superpowers. You never know what happens in your life. All your opportunities, your house, your clothes, your successes, your whatever, all of that can be taken away. But what's in your head and in your heart, no one can take that from you. This brings me to number 12. Studying and working is a privilege. Yes, we all complain about it, but you need to realize how lucky you are. Maybe I think this way because of my background. If you guys don't know this, I'm Lebanese. I did not grow up in Lebanon. I grew up in the UAE. I'm so lucky that I graduated from McGill University in Montreal. I'm so thankful. I have a great degree. I have great education, great experience. While I was in uni, there was, the Thawra in Lebanon, the revolution. Because of the state of the country, so many people my age, their opportunities were just getting stripped away from them, and I would feel so guilty. I don't know if survivor's guilt is the right term. Like, why am I the one who is lucky? How come of all these Lebanese people, it was me? There are probably people that are so much smarter than me, more creative, have 10 times the work ethic. That guilt drove me to want to do the best I can in my life, almost in a way like doing them justice. Obviously, I am doing this also for myself and for my future and for my family, but I'm so lucky and God gave me all these great opportunities in my life. I'm not gonna waste it and I'm not gonna complain about it, because so many people dream of having these opportunities, dream of building their life. If you have that chance and you get to study and to work and to choose your path, do justice by it. Number 13, never, ever make fun of your past self. For me personally, yes, I am so not the person that I used to be, but I'll never be ashamed or make fun of the person that I used to be, because that is the person that worked on themselves that brought me here to where I am today. I used to be so insecure. My mindset was super restricted. I didn't believe in myself at all, but I also didn't magically get here. That Yasmin is the one who worked on her growth to get me to where I am. So when you look back, thank yourself for having the strength, the courage, and the self-love. Number 14, you are not everyone's flavor. You can be the yummiest, juiciest, sweetest peach in the whole world, and there will still be someone who doesn't like peaches. But that's okay. For example, with my YouTube channel, like, I'm sure I'm not everyone's favorite YouTuber, but that's fine. My videos are not meant for everyone. I am not meant for everyone. The same way that you're not. The people that are meant to be in your life will be. Nothing will change that. And if it hasn't happened, it will happen. Number 15, the friends that you can't share good news with are not your friends. I actually had a very, very hard time swallowing this pill, because I had a couple best friends or super, super close people in my life that I loved so much for so many reasons. But I found myself never ever being able to share good news with them because they weren't happy for me, or they always found reasons to poke holes in my plans or in my news or in my dreams, or just bring me down. What I had a hard time learning was, no matter how much I love them or whatever their love is for me, it's not genuine. That's not real friendship. That's not real love. So get rid of these people. Out the door. Because one day, that success that you dream of, it's coming. And you don't want that evil eye around. Number 16. Sometimes really, really nice people can do really, really shitty things. And it doesn't make them a monster. It just makes them a person who disrespected you. So once you learn that and acknowledge that, you can do with that information as you please. In the end of the day, that's all up to you. But never villainize someone in your head. Just learn to forgive and move on. Not for them, but the only thing anger and resentment is gonna do is keep you from having peace of mind. I know this is a phrase we always hear, but everything happens for a reason. When you don't know who should be in your life, the universe will show you. Number 17. Sometimes you're the problem. Again, something else that is one of the most important life skills you will ever have in family, in relationships, in business, just socially, is to be self-aware. Emotional intelligence and emotional maturity are not the same thing. You could be aware of what you're doing, but then you need to make the effort to change that. When bad things happen, it's not just there to teach you a lesson about others, it's there to teach you a lesson about yourself. Number 18, choose love, not fear. Let me read you a sentence from this book. When you consider doing something that you truly love and are invested in, you're gonna feel an influx of fear and pain, mostly because it will involve being vulnerable. Bad feelings should not always be interpreted as deterrents. They're also indicators that you're doing something frightening and worthwhile. Recently, I have felt for the longest time that I just need a change. And I don't know where and I don't know how, but I keep saying, like, maybe I should find a job and move to a random country and be alone and start new and know nobody and build a life all over again. And even though I've been saying that for months and months and months, I haven't taken any steps towards doing that because I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid of what could happen. And I'm afraid to be alone, and I'm afraid to fail, and I'm afraid of rejection, and I'm afraid of all of it. But in the end of the day, it's mindset. For a short while, I've been working so hard on getting out of that mindset and pushing myself and doing something new, because if I want something so bad, it's because it's already meant for me. It's because I already have it in the future. Choose love, not fear. Whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen anyway. You might as well enjoy the ride along the way. Number 19. Allow yourself to get heartbroken into a million bajillion pieces, because something beautiful might shine through one of those cracks. Taking a risk and taking a leap really teaches you so much about yourself. And even if things don't necessarily work out in your favor, you will just become that much closer to you. I don't know, I really don't know how to explain, but so far, I don't have a single what if. There is no what if, because I feel like even though there was a lot of things that did not end the way that I wanted them to end, or there were a lot of dreams that I never achieved or that died somewhere in a hole in my past, I can never say what if, because all those experiences is what opened me up. All those things that are no longer in my life is what allowed for the space for new dreams, for new people, for new relationships, for new love, for new connection, for everything that is gonna make me the person that I want to be in the life that I want to have. I don't know if any of that made any sense. That's just a little heart to heart I was having with you. Moving on. Number 20. It is never, ever, ever too late. And I hope you guys don't think I'm silly for saying that, because I know I'm only 21, but I don't know if I could ever explain the feeling when I was 17, 18, 19. I really felt like, not in an arrogant way of I know everything, but I really felt like, okay, this is what life is about. 1, 2, 3. And I really thought that whatever I decided to study, whatever I decided was my first job, whatever was going to set the course for how my life was going to go. But it's really not like that. If you're not happy, you can always start again. I volunteer with an organization called Million Peacemakers, and we recently went on a trip in December for a global peace partnership, which is exciting. If you guys ever want me to share that, let me know in the comments down below. But I spent a lot of time with people who are between their 40s and 60s, and it was so refreshing to me how a lot of them told me the same thing of, your life really starts when you're 40. If you're in your 20s, you are young. There's so much life left for you to live. I don't know why I always had this mindset of this is what life is. It's a very closed way of thinking, but it's not true. Things change all the time, and honestly, a lot of it is up to you. Let me give you guys an example of my dad. If you follow me on TikTok or my Instagram, you'd know that we have a startup business called 20's Dough. It's like a virtual bakery in Montreal, and we only do innovative desserts. Okay, I will be migrating because I am no longer alone in the house. But anyways, what I was saying, my dad is like a living reminder for me every day that you can really do anything you want at any age. I remember when I was a little kid, I'd be like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he used to always say, I would love to have a bakery one day. Like, I would love to just bring people together and share great food and do something new and bring them happiness in that way. And my dad is an electrical engineer, an expert consultant. And yes, that is still his job. He still does that, but that didn't stop him from chasing his dreams. Whether you're 20 or you're 40 or you're 60, it is never ever too late to chase what you want. And last piece of advice, number 21, which is a little ironic. Don't take everyone's advice, especially when it's someone that you don't want to be like. If it's someone that you don't look up to and you don't really care about their opinion, don't take their advice. Not everyone is living the same life, and not everything works for the same people. That's why we're different people. That's why we have different mindsets, and that's why we live different lives. Trust your gut instinct. If something doesn't sound right to you and it just doesn't align with you, you don't need to take that advice. There are a lot of people in my life that I respect and I value their opinion, but sometimes they give me advice that doesn't align with the way that I want my life to be, and I don't take it. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a reality thing. So whatever advice that I gave you that you feel could align with you or the person that you want to be, take it. Whatever doesn't, don't. Anyways, guys, that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope that something positive did come out of this. I hope that there is advice that you did like. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this video. I'm personally very, very excited about this series. I'm excited for what's to come. I obviously always want your opinion. If there's anything specific that you want me to talk about or something in my life that you want to see, I'm happy to share it. So share it with me. And yeah, that's all. I'll see you in the next one.